pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start our 8:30 meeting. And just a reminder that we are not letting the public in. And we have announced it on our website, how you are able to call in or watch or listen. And you certainly can we'll ask for public comments at the end. So you can certainly talk and visit with us then. Okay, do you guys have any changes for the agenda?
I have none, so I move to approve the agenda.
I just want to talk a little more about this, how this corona thing is affecting small businesses. I guess we can put that under number 9, under parcel numbers and that.
Sure.
I'll second that.
Yeah, we'll just keep that, okay. With no further discussion, the agenda is approved. And we'll
Got to
just-
vote on it.
Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I say aye, so that is approved. And on to the minutes and the claims, both. I didn't see any concerns with either.
So moved.
Seconded.
With no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, do we have our attorney general discussion? Is our county attorney on the line?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. We can, Mark.
I don't have anything unless you have something for me.
I wanted to ask you, did you happen to get anything from the Dubuque County attorney as far as Iowa workforce development stuff?
I can take
I did not. All I had was that copy of that one document that you provided me.
Okay, I think you're going to be receiving some more, and how they kind of left it is that if they don't hear back from people, because they were going to send it out to everybody, all of the counties, and if they didn't hear back from our separate county attorneys, they were going to assume that they were okay with what they were coming up with for things like the 2080 and some other stuff.
As of today, I have not received anything.
Okay, and I have a question about, and I had sent you that statement about the service building. Do you happen to have that in front of you, Mark?
I don't, but I can bring it up if you'll give me just a second.
Sure. And I'll kind of read the 2 paragraphs I have a question about. Acceptance of this statement by the contractor constitutes concurrence of the contractor for the owner to use any completed or substantially completed portions of the work and shall constitute owner acceptance of such portions of the work. The 1-year warranty period shall commence as of the substantial completion date. Now, are they talking about the stuff that needs fixing yet, or are they just talking about a warranty on all the work done?
Well, what they're saying is we substantially completed it, and the 1-year warranty starts.
Okay, so that's stuff that's completed. Now, that last paragraph about the performance bond, what is that referring to? Because that talks about 2 years. And I can certainly ask them.
The only reason I can think that they're going 2 years, they're saying substantial compliance or completion is 1 year. Well, let's say after 11 and a half months, we think there's something wrong and we have to file a lawsuit. They don't want that bond ending right at 1 year, so we don't have a bond to go against. This gives us another year to go against that bond, is what I'm assuming.
Well, that would make sense. Did you guys have any other questions about it?
Not about this, but
No. This seems to be pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to discuss with him?
yeah, Mark, I take it you're kind of following maybe what's been happening in Cerro Gordo County with this virus thing? In any event, Cerro Gordo County is working on trying to come up with a possible program to where they can grant up to $5,000 to a business if the business, and they're going to have some qualifications on how a business would qualify, but if the business would need help, financial help, in order to remain in business, I guess my question to you again, is this a public purpose if we would want to try to do something like this to assist?
Once again, my comment will not be whether this is a good idea or a bad idea, simply on whether legally I think you can do it. And in my mind, there's no doubt that legally you can't do that.
So it would be a public purpose.
Yes.
Okay, because then I want to talk further with further down on the agenda with Tony being here. So, yep, okay.
What happens? Can you hear me?
Oh, we just heard you
It
say
sounded
what
kind of
happened.
garbled.
Oh, Stan said he wanted to talk further when, then I didn't catch the rest of it.
Oh, number 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
all right.
we'll have further discussion on this, you know, but I wanted to make sure that you felt this was a public purpose, so.
Okay.
Okay, very
All
good.
right. Okay, if there's nothing else, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the next one, addressed questions on our county budget by Mr. Winters. And he stated, over the past 4 budgets, beginning in 2018, debt service has increased from 4 million plus to 5 million plus, and that's a 36% increase in debt payments that Mitchell County is making. Now, I do not know if this 36% is exactly accurate, but it certainly possibly could be true. I will tell you that Standards & Poor, which we got the A+ rating, they thoroughly go over our books. I mean, they are really fussy. And they said as long as we do not add major debt for the next 2 years, we are fine. Now, the next statement said over the past 4 budgets, TIF revenue has been stagnant. In the 2018 budget, TIF revenue was $3,762,798, and the 2021 budget calls for TIF revenue at $3,734,762, about 1% less. This one is not accurate. It is actually at $5,096,930. Now, that is an increase, actually, of $334,132. So that is definitely wrong. Okay, in the 2018, the budget figure for administration was $1,335,249. In your current budget, the amount balloons to $2,766,044. That's a whopping 48% increase. Again, I don't know if it's exactly 48%, but it's definitely increased. Let me explain that in administration is, first of all, it's not just wages, but I will address that first. Supervisors didn't get a raise last year and only 2% this year. The compensation board are the ones who decide what the elected officials get. And then they recommend for the rest. And so if you ever want the names of the compensation board, I can certainly give them to you and you can make your recommendations to them.
May I make a correction?
Yes.
Your wages starting July 1st is 2.5%. It's not 2.
Oh, it is 2.5? Oh, I honestly thought it was 2.
I double checked.
Oh, okay. Well, good news for us. Yeah, I honestly thought it was 2. Okay, and let's see. Different things that have increased. The sheriff purchased a drone, and he has found many useful areas to use that in. You can certainly call and get the details from him, what all he does use it for. Health insurance. We all know how much that's increased. And actually, ours would have been, at least 5% more, but because of our wellness program, we were actually able to keep ours down that much. So that could have been even worse. We had to purchase election poll books. Now, we were actually among the last 7 counties to get these, so we actually held off as long as we can. And we think that probably these are actually going to be mandated. So that was definitely an extra expense. So as you can see, administration is not just wages. Okay, and then you had mentioned separately to Mr. Walk, wondering when the refund was coming from Port Authority, and we have talked with them, and that is in the works of us getting our money back from that. And I will let Mr. Winters know, or one of us will, as soon as we do have that in hand. Did you guys have anything else to add to that?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, and we'll give Mr. Winters, if he wants a chance to respond at the end with public comments. Okay, county engineer, oh wait, sheriff,
But he's not here.
excuse me. And he's not on the line, is he?
No.
Okay, I want to publicly thank him for getting the disaster letter off to EMA once we had a corona case here confirmed. Okay, county engineer.
Morning.
Hi.
We are still patching on Indigo with Wix Construction. We'll probably be doing it for another week yet, depending on weather. Big patch is going to cost a lot of money, but since we do have that wind tower check, we have a little bit of money to spend on it, since at least one of those patches is due to the wind towers. And like I said, we won't probably fix everything out there that needs fixing. We're getting the most severe stuff now. The guys are out on still east of New Haven doing our experimental saw cut project, where we're putting expansion joints in every 500 feet. They'll get up to Walnut, and then they'll head up Walnut, and we'll get that road. Kind of use them as our research spot for now, and if we've got time yet this summer, we'll do more. Other than that, they're out blading and they're out spot rocking where they can. I think for the most part, the roads are holding up well. We haven't had a whole lot of extreme weather conditions right now to hamper anything. I think the ag equipment's been light so far, but I'm sure that'll pick up soon. And we are getting our rock maps composed so we can get that moving too. So
I'm sure the equipment's going to move, because I heard one of the locals has got some corn in the ground by the
I heard that, and I see there's anhydrous going out. So as soon as we get some sunnier weather, I'm sure people are really gonna hit it hard. We've been doing a lot of follow-ups on some ditch cleanings and some tile repairs and whatnot, so the calls are coming in now that everybody's getting antsy to get out in the field, so that's gonna be picking up. We'll have a project letting, I think, in 2 weeks yet for that mile stretch east of Grafton, so that's where we're at.
How's Melissa doing it, working from home? Is that working out good?
Yeah, she's getting the bills and stuff the way we need it, and the
Good.
payroll's coming through, so she stops in probably once a week to get the info, more than once a week, just to pick up the papers and get home. So far, I haven't had any issues that I know of.
Good. Yeah, I think anybody here who's worked from home, it's working out very well.
And, you know, in retrospect, Jim and I could work from home too, but if there's just two of us in the office, we're pretty limited on exposure to begin with, so the guys are trying to keep their distance from each other, but when you're working on a crew on the site, you know, it's tough to stay 6 feet apart when you're working on something, but they're doing their best, I think, so I haven't any concerns from the individuals yet. And then working on some things with Renee on some personnel payroll things, so I'll get with you guys at another time and discuss more of that.
Okay, did you guys have anything for Rich? Well, gee,
Okay.
that's the shortest we've been
Well,
with you.
I loaded you up last week. I thought maybe I'd be easy on you this week. So.
Yeah, okay.
I do have the official budget and programs are printed, but since you approved them, I'll just file them versus trying to get signatures.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
General Assistance
Yep, thanks.
Department
Thanks, Rich.
update.
Good luck on your issue.
Yep, so this is Ashley Rosenthal with the General Assistance Program. Just wanted to meet with you guys today and give you a quick update on that program. Again, the purpose of the General Assistance Program is to assist the needy and poor individuals within our county. Typically, we assist people with food and provisions, rent, utilities, and burial assistance. Right now, our budget, our general assistance budget is looking pretty good. We're 75% through the fiscal year, and we have used only 61% of that budget. So we're sitting pretty good, but wanted to come in today because of COVID-19 and just some anticipation that we may see an increase in some assistance requests through all of this. So really just wanted to keep this program on your guys' radar in case we would see that increase. As always, when we do get assistance requests from individuals, we sit down with them and make sure that they are exhausting all other resource options first. Hopefully with the stimulus checks coming, that will help a lot of people. But just in case, if they need our assistance, we'll make sure they've exhausted all other options and reserve county funds for last resort funding. But just wanted that to be on your guys' radar.
Lowell, when are we scheduled to do a budget amendment?
Probably be here within the next month.
You might want to anticipate if you think that you're gonna need additional money, we could put it in the budget right now, we don't have to spend it. But at least, if we don't put it in, the budget, you won't be able to, assist, so, let's take
Great,
a,
as well.
Yeah, if you wanna,
If you guys are okay with that, we will plan to do so.
sure, if you come up with some figures and then get back with Rachel and I, and we'll work that out with you.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Yep, that sounds great. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else? Ashley?
That's all. No, that's all I've got. I just
Okay.
understand safe and healthy.
All right, you too.
You too, correct.
County Social Services building update. I gave you guys a picture of apparently when they wanted the front desk out of the front entryway, they assumed it was sitting on top of the flooring, and it was actually in the tile. And so it left kind of a mess. And so Lowell and I and Bob Lincoln, and Dave's been looking at it, we basically decided that the most economical way to fix this was to put a large area rug over it, and then we'll probably add a love seat or something when people are waiting. They could use that anyway, and so this will not show. So just wanted to update you on what was going on with
And
that.
I'll add to that we're gonna try to pick up that storage unit tomorrow.
Okay.
When the weather's kind of a little crappier, so.
Okay.
That way we'll bring the excavator in and the loader in, we'll load it up on our trailer, probably take it to St. Ansgar and utilize it there.
And
Okay.
it might be highly possible that the excavator may be able to pick the whole thing up. It gets close, but I don't know
It
how
might.
the wires are gonna work out for you.
It might, but I think with the way the thing is sitting there, we could probably pick the back end up with the loader and the excavator, get the front end and drive the trailer underneath and set it down. But yeah, whatever.
Your biggest headache will be the wires that's
Yeah.
going back and forth across there.
So,
And if you need, Jerry from Osage said,
we'll
need
go.
that loader again, they'll come.
Okay,
So keep that in mind.
yep, we'll do that. But we just knew today was gonna be maybe more of a production day for us than if it rains tomorrow, we've got time, so.
Okay.
And I should mention too, County Social Services is gonna cover that, take care of the rug and seat there. Okay. Tony, discuss parcel numbers for small businesses.
Thank you, good morning. A couple weeks ago, Stan had, when this all first came down, had asked me to go ahead and put together a list of properties and businesses in the town to make sure that we had a complete list of all the small businesses on our urban renewal. I went through and basically just looked from aerials, and any building that looked like it housed any sort of business at all, I've added to the list. We're looking to see if there's any duplication, which there probably is, but it wouldn't hurt anything if it is. Basically just try to include as many businesses as possible, that if you so chose to use TIF dollars, can you hear me okay, Stan? Okay. If you choose to use TIF dollars, they would be in the urban renewal district. I can't say that it's gonna be 100% accurate, get everybody, because we just simply don't know. And if somebody's out in the county with a small business, we don't really know that they're there. I sent you an email with a link from North Iowa Corridor. Stan had made reference to it earlier. They have put together a program that I would recommend that you look at and consider. I do have a copy of their guidelines right here if you need it, but I did send you a link so you can get it direct to look at. And I would recommend that if you do this, just in case we did miss, which I'm sure we did, if you want to do it, you would want to set up a separate fund with just regular county dollars to do it as well. I did talk with a couple of my board members, and if they would be supportive if the county wanted to use the money that's been allocated for the construction incentive as a revolving loan fund in the interim, and then once the crisis is passed, to revert back for the construction incentive going forward again, but to utilize those dollars. Just to expedite the process now, going through and doing a new TIF, I think would be a little time consuming. And I know politically it would be a difficult thing to transpire at this time, but those funds are available that we could do that and a quicker turnaround for people, so.
Making use of the TIP dollars we have.
Correct. The program at North Iowa Corridor, they're not 100% final on it yet. I don't think they have their application yet, but Chad Schreck with the corridor has said he'd be more than happy to share that. And I think once you look at their program, I think their language is fairly comprehensive. But there's still quite a bit of flexibility in it too. And it is definitely focused on small business. And I think that's one area that the federal programs, I've heard such a mixed bag from small business of how well the current federal programs are working out and the state programs are working out. I think they're working for some, but there's a lot, especially small businesses, that are falling through the cracks, and the demands put on it by the programs don't fit them very well and could possibly do more damage than good. And so there's a lot of confusion out there on them. I can't say as whether this program would provide the answers they need either. The jury is out. It's hard to say. And I know we all want to be able to help out as much as we can. I just want to make sure we're not causing more harm than good by what we're doing, and just always be mindful of that as we go forward. But the money is available at this point in time if you so chose. We have a program that a much bigger staff than ours has put the hours in putting together some of the ramifications and some of the requirements for it. I think that, and they're more than willing to share that with us. So I think it's definitely a good place to start looking at putting something together if you choose to put together at the county level. But I would encourage everyone to look at that example on the Corridors website, and you can go forward from there. So, and if you so chose, I can take the list that I've got now and I can forward that to Joe Myrie and get that ball rolling to include them in. Again, it's not going to affect any of those businesses or properties at all to add them to the urban renewal. It just gives you the option of doing something down the road. So I guess at this point in time, it's not hurting anything to add them in. If the work has already been done to prepare the list, we can do it. And then if you so chose, then at that point you could use TIF dollars if you wanted to. So
Well,
at this point,
it actually could affect them positively, not negatively.
correct. Right. It'll give them an opportunity to have some assistance that they would not have otherwise. But from a taxing standpoint or a value standpoint for the property, it's not going to affect them whatsoever.
I have people ask me, so I'll just put it out there. Does it affect their property taxes at all, is what they
No.
ask.
No.
Which that's what I told them, but.
Correct, and it doesn't, I mean, I can understand someone's concern with the old designation of blight. If, you know, to get in the urban renewal, you had to be listed as blight, and that could be a black mark on the value of someone looking at your property. But that is not what this is. This is for economic development purposes only. And it adds opportunity for that property, but it does not put an obligation or a black mark against it.
I wanted that word out there so they
Right.
understand.
No, and I understand, and I get that. The old original
Right.
designation.
And I'm sure that's what they're thinking.
Sounds bad
Yeah.
when you have to be blighted, but our TIF program is not based on blight, it's based on economic development. It's a completely separate designation, and so this does not add that to it. So,
Well, there was a couple of individuals that wanted to see that new list. Have you sent that out to them yet?
I have not, because we wanted to see if there was any overlap, and I know Tracy was working on that yesterday. Again, I mean, it's hundreds of.
I understand that,
Of
but they want to
blank
see it,
things.
I mean, that's a public document. so-
Right, no, and I will share it if they so chose, but,
Takes time.
Stan, can you remind me of who requested that again?
Both Kevin Colbert and Mr. Schultz.
Okay, Tim Schultz, okay. Yep, I would be happy to add those in. Now, and I said, at this time, we added a few that we're looking at possibly for the incentive program going forward, but most of the new additions are business properties.
Right.
Thankfully, there was quite a bit of overlap on that anyway, because a lot of the old Main Street businesses that were already on the system were there because of the possibility of doing retrofits anyway. And so there was a lot of overlap on that, so a lot of those businesses were already included. What we did this round was just try to pick up all of the small mom and pop businesses, primarily in town, but if we knew of any out in the country, we added them in as well, so. But I guess I would appreciate maybe some guidance on going ahead and forwarding that list on to Joe Myrie to start the process.
I have no problem with that. I mean, you know me, I don't want to spend any more on TIF, but if the other government programs are working for enough people, because I do know that, already know of some businesses that won't qualify. then I would certainly be willing to use some of our extra funds, maybe, possibly, to help. So that part of it, I'm fine. I don't know about anything else at the moment, but.
Well, I have a different opinion, of course, you knew that. I'm thinking this is just another welfare check for some people. And again, we can't do any better than what the state or the federal government. They have here's one that's prepared by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, small business guide and checklist. We have all kinds of information on different ways they can pick up money from the state. I just can't see where the county has the need or should get involved in it when the government, with the stimulus package promising money down the road here, just because we can doesn't mean we should.
It's too soon to make that decision. We don't know.
There you go, it's too soon to do anything, get involved yet.
Well,
Well,
but
we all agree
we're
on
trying
that.
to get our ducks in a row that if we need to get involved, we can. But it's too soon to make that decision that we're going to.
Right.
But we don't wait. I mean, it's just like with the federal government. They understood the Cronus thing was a problem the first week in January. And they kept on, basically political decisions were made to make somebody look good and so on and so forth. They swept it under the rug for 2 months, and now look at what the problems we have. We don't want to be in that situation to where we understand that we could lose some vital businesses, and we look the other way. I don't want to be in that position neither, because again, I think you're going to see even part of the March sales tax that sales tax collections are going to be down. And that's going to affect us considerably, depending on, well, it's just something, again, we want to have our ducks in a row.
There may be at a time down the road where this may be something we talk about or think about, but right now I don't see that it's that big a deal, and to me, it's just another welfare check.
Okay, well, we're not planning on doing anything either, but
Well-
are you okay with Tony getting these in place?
I
Or
myself
are you
think he
against
doesn't
that?
have to do anything yet. I think it's too early.
No, we have to get urban renewal in order to get those windmills included in the urban renewal, which all three of us voted to do.
Well, it sounds like, Tony, you have 2 for and 1 against.
Okay,
So,
well, as long as there's a majority, I can at least move forward with that, and that's okay. And again, there's a lot of details that have to work out if and when you decide to do any kind of program.
right, yeah, yeah.
And I think probably a loan program definitely would help, from a political standpoint too, if not just giving money away. But I mean, if you chose to have a different stair step in that, most of the programs, even from the feds, are coming as loan programs. Part of them are being forgiven, given certain stipulations. I would advise against that because of just the administrative headache of trying to go with that. It would make more sense to me to just keep it as a loan program and then try to get that money back and use for other purposes down the road, rather than a, as you say, a welfare check.
Well,
That is in
and
existence.
again, and I've heard through the rumor mill about a business that left Osage and went to St. Ansgar and expanded with help from the county and laid help off a month ago. That's before the coronavirus was a problem. They couldn't sell their product, that they had to lay help off then. I don't see that the coronavirus had anything to do with the fact that their product didn't sell. And I don't see that it is the county's problem that it didn't sell. I just think this is too fast, too early. This would be a welfare check. So, my thoughts could be totally wrong, but it's my opinion.
Yeah, I think your thoughts on this one are wrong, from the standpoint that I visited at length with the particular business that you're talking about, and part of what the problem is that most of their customers are small little retail shops again that have been ordered to close throughout the nation. I mean, they basically were selling nationwide. And so I didn't get into the financials with them, if they sell on consignment or if they sell direct or so on and so forth. And they were not asking for assistance. But they wanted to know what was available, and so, like I say, I spent some time with them. But no, this was the big problem that they have, is their retailers are been forced to close. And so your flower shops, your gift shops, and so on, nationwide have been ordered. I mean, they have no retail market, or very little retail market left to service. So.
Well, I like your, what you're saying, Stan, but just the same, it isn't the county's fault. They expanded their business.
They're not asking for anything at this time, Steve.
All right.
I don't know where that came up with. They have not asked for anything at this time.
I do want to add, in the corridors plan, one of the requirements on the recipients of the program is going to be getting business counseling and referral from the Papillon Center to help with steps going forward. I think everyone can acknowledge the fact that business going forward is going to be different. All of this has caused everybody to reassess what they do, what money is spent on, what business models are going to work and which ones aren't. And I think that will be an important part going forward, is that everybody takes a hard look at their business plan and to create some resiliency going forward. And I think that's one of the problems that we have right now, and I think a lot of people are identifying, that we've created a system that is so fragile and is so based on zero inventory and just in time on everything that we're doing, that we've created something that when there is any kind of hiccup in the system, that all of a sudden we have this disaster. And so I think having that as it, I would recommend that we definitely keep that in there, that everyone's business plan needs to be reevaluated. You look at how are we going to go forward, how are we going to come out of this once we do turn the corner. And I think if we have some assistance to help businesses get to that level to make that assessment, that will go a long way towards helping us to come out the other end in a positive way, to reevaluate our business plans going forward, because it is going to be different. I do not believe we're going to have some sort of a V recovery, that we're all of a sudden going to come out of this smelling like a rose in the matter of a couple of months. Everything is going to change, and we all need to take hard looks at our business plans and our business models going forward. So I would encourage you to look at that particular aspect of the North Corridor plan. I think that one is vital, and I definitely would encourage you to include that in if we do anything going forward.
Okay, I'll be sure to look at it. Okay. All right. I think you've covered pretty much everything that you want to. Okay, well, let's move on to meetings attended then. I had a Iowa Workforce Development 2-hour meeting with Regions 1, 2, and 7 CEOs for the next steps that we're going to take for the new area alignments for Iowa Workforce Development. So it will be Regions 1, 2, and 7 that definitely will be doing this. We voted a head CLEO, and the CLEO is a chief lead elected official, with one from each of the regions to try to be fair. The head one will be Ken Kammeyer of Bremer County, and then under him we have co-CLEOs of Corey Eberling of Franklin County and Dave Baker of Dubuque. We received some documents by email yesterday to look over possible ideas for our liability agreements, et cetera, 4 documents. We will now be called Northeast Iowa Workforce Area. They want to be called areas rather than regions now. That came from the state. So we got a good start. We have a long way to go, but we got a good start that day. Following that meeting was another workforce development meeting put on by state, in which was a bunch of figures that I felt they were giving out too early. It kind of felt like a waste of my time because there's regions still forming, and so that's going to change all those numbers that they gave out. And she even admitted, I'm probably giving these too early. And also all these figures, they're going to pertain more to whoever we get as a fiscal agent. That's going to be their baby, to keep all that straight. So my 2 meetings were that, other than working on the service building.
I didn't have anything.
I basically, excuse me, listened in to the NIAC presentation Friday afternoon. Tim Putman and a number of others from the Small Business Development Center put on a 2-hour program that could be watched on the internet concerning, again, the financial aspect of all of this. They discussed a little bit of what Chad is trying to do, and gave links to that. And they spent quite a bit of time talking about the federal and state programs, and basically right now, most of them do not seem to be workable. People are applying and they're being turned down, and so they're thinking that the government is going to have to rework some of this stuff because the businesses, and this is where that particular business that you brought up, Steve, would actually fall into the federal government. I mean, it's really not the small business that I'm looking at. I'm looking at more of a mom and pop restaurant, maybe with 2 or 3 employees. Those we want to try to keep going on our main streets, this type of thing. We don't want to have it to where we just have a couple of Casey's being the food outlet or something like this. We've got to take a look at the whole situation. I mean, whether or not we're going to do anything, no. But in any event, that was the one meeting that I guess I could say that I attended or participated in.
Some of those government programs, comment, people aren't qualifying for because basically it's just helping you reimburse your help. But if you have the type of business that your help has nothing they can do at home for you, you've probably had to let them go. But that's still not helping you, that you have no income coming in. So not everybody can even qualify for these programs. I should add though, I did meet with our department heads. After conferring with all of the department heads, that was one reason I made this decision that we would not make appointments, because every single one said that we would be able to do all work without having people come in, either by email or snail mail or fax or leaving stuff off in our entryway. Some of it might take a little longer by snail mail, but that's okay, it'll still work out. And then I think do we have one more laptop if anybody needs it to work from home?
Yep, I have one more.
Okay.
Most departments have what they need currently.
Yes, that's great. I know Rachel and Lowell and Shannon and Amy now, I think, all.
Yep, and I've shown Larry how to work from home as well.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that one. All right. Okay, manure management updates, Lowell, please.
Borderline Buildings LLC Northeast Site, 5059 Addison Avenue, and their southwest side at 3327 500th Street, both at Riceville. Alverson Finisher Farm, 4830 Epic Avenue, St. Ansgar. PL Farm LLC on State Line Street, McIntyre. Sunner, 460th Street, McIntyre. Mark Tice Finisher, 2921 350th Street, Osage. And the Wilt Finisher Farm, 3151 500th Street, McIntyre.
Thank you. Board appointments. We had a couple of applications, amazingly, for the NIACOG board. And it ended up to be an easy pick for us because they have to even out gender base, and they were lacking women. And so one was a woman, one was a man, and so the woman will be taking that position. But we also have another still opening for a housing authority over in Mason City. And so we will offer the person who did not get the NIACOG one to see if he wants to take that one. I've sent him an email already, but I have not heard back.
Your name for the.
Who are the two for NICOG?
Tracy Church and Al Winters.
I think we have to make that an emotion.
Yes.
Do we? Okay.
I'll move Tracy.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so Tracy Church will be the NIACOG board member. And then I guess we'll have to talk about it next week till I hear back from Al. I have offered Al that position for the housing authority. We'll see what he says. If he doesn't, Tracy has offered to take it on too. So. All right, public comments.
Looks like Adam's the only one, Adam Shirley's the only one that's on, so
Okay, all right. Adam, do you want to talk now?
you may not have anything. You just,
Or are you just listening? Okay, all right. Nobody else is on there that you can tell that wants to comment or?
Hey, I got nothing for you guys. I was just tuning in to see if there was any C-Void stuff while I was working here. So
Sure, well, thanks.
sound like anything new?
Yeah, okay, great. And I don't,
Can you guys hear me at all?
yes, yes. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, do you guys have anything else that you wanted to add? Okay, I think we'll call this meeting adjourned then.